Satnam besties, it's me Zen Jen, the Reiki bestie. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. We are going to be going over this week's quick little astral rundown, as well as this week's collective distance Reiki. I did have to take a couple of days off. I needed to pour back into me, needed to do a quick little reset. But now we're back and we're here and we feel good. So go ahead and grab your cafecito, grab your tea, grab your water, whatever it is that you're doing. Go ahead and get comfortable, bestie, and let's get into it. I'm recording this literally at like 6:30 on Saturday. It has been a long day in a good way, but I needed a quick little coffee, so I told the hubby, I was like, babe, hazme un cafecito por favor. So go ahead, let's see. All right, so I have my little handy dandy notes here for this week's astrology, and amiga, let me tell you, this week I feel like June in general is it's pretty cool. It's pretty chill. We do have the retrograde starting. We have summer. And what I am most excited about is this month Venus goes into Leo. So I am going to be having my Venus return. Shout out to all of my Venuses and Leos. But not just that, Jupiter will also be going into Leo. I am thinking about making a separate video on just the transits, as far as like those two, and then also some of the squares that we're going to be having, but they'll be in a different video. So let me know if you guys want me to kind of give you guys a little bit more insight on that. I would love to do a video on that if I don't do it. But most likely I will. What else? Let me go ahead and pull up for this week. Okay, so this week, today is the 6th, so we don't have any major transits until Tuesday, June 9th. We have Venus conjunct Jupiter. We also do have Mercury squaring Saturn on Tuesday, so one of them is going to be like 1 o'clock. This is for Phoenix, so if you guys are anywhere else, this is Mountain Standard Time, so that's what I'm going to be reading on because that's my time. So yeah, so this will be happening at around 1 o'clock. We're going to kind of feel it, and then we also do have around, what is it, like 10:39, we're gonna have that Mercury squaring Saturn. So what does this mean, player? This means as far as Venus conjuncting Jupiter, so Jupiter is expansion. This is the mind. This is what we our philosophy, right? It's our philosophy of what it is that we believe in, and with it being conjunct to Venus, with it being conjunct with Venus, our pleasures, our what we find, our values, like what is going to kind of like feel more comfortable for you. Think again, like our loves, our values, what we feel comfortable with, our emotions. This is also going to be when it comes to relationships as well. Sorry guys, I'm pulling the rest of my notes. Okay, yeah. So this is going to also expand, kind of like give us a quick little insight when it comes to like any of that. And with it being in Cancer, the sign of the family, being at home, our feminine energy, this also rolls over like that motherly, nurturing vibe. And heart-centered relationships. So again, like I was saying, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to be love. This could be relationships that you have with the family, the friendships, the people who are closest to you, and particularly it could also be with women as well. But if that doesn't apply to you, or this could also be regarding your finances, your values, how you're showing up again for other people, and how you're also showing up for yourself, like financially, right? This is a beautiful type of energy to do any self-love rituals, to reconnecting again with loved ones, your ancestors, and creating things from the heart, creating, whether it's like sitting down with a plan for yourself for the summer, right? But also being able to attract opportunities that align with your values as well. So this kind of wants that warmth, nourishment, really emotional connection with one another. And then we also do have, after this little transit, we will have that Mercury squaring Saturn. So Mercury is the mind, Mercury is logic, it's the nervous system as well to an extent, right? It's just the way that you're processing, the way that you're learning what you want to do. It's hands-on activities. And then Saturn is like, okay, first, if that's what you want to do, let's get down to the details. Let's make sure that you have a plan. Let's make sure that you are well-grounded when it comes to this idea before you act on things. This may also feel a little bit more restricting. So you may feel a little bit more blocked, more serious, a little emotionally distant. You may also feel not just that within yourself, but with other people around you as well. This can also bring on like overthinking. So like if you were having a wonderful day, like towards the evening, that's when you're going to really feel a little bit more like, is this really what I want? Like, is this really filling up my cup? And we're going to be sitting with that energy. The moon will also be moving into Aries. So remembering that Aries is also a very passionate sign. It's kind of like facing things head on. So instead of, reacting to what's happening, just take a moment, sit with it, allow yourself to just be in the present moment. If you find yourself like overthinking or kind of like spiraling where you're just like, well, I can't see straight, like I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what to feel, I don't know, blah blah blah, try to go back to your toolbox. Remember how I always talk about our toolbox, whether it's doing some breath work, whether it's going for a walk, doing maybe some yoga, some sound healing, and if none of that works out for you, maybe doing some exercising, reading a book. Anything that's going to help calm the nervous system is going to be chef's kiss for that. Especially again, how I was saying, like the moon is going to be moving into Aries, which brings on that, like you kind of want to get active, you want to get those emotions out, you want to express, but kind of just taking a moment and being like, okay, let me think about this before I react to it. Then on the 11th, which is going to be Thursday. So on Thursday, the moon will be moving into Taurus. So just being a little bit more slower, reflecting on, again, your values, reflecting on the transits that just happened. So that emotional heaviness after, the softness, seeing like where exactly do you want to be, when it comes to life, your values, what you want, what kind of life do you want for yourself? And then having a plan with that, making sure that it's aligning with your values, with what you're honoring. And then towards the on Saturday, we're going to have Venus entering Leo, and then we're also going to have the moon moving into Gemini. So what does that mean? We're getting ready for this new moon in Gemini, which I'm also thinking about making a video. If not, I will be posting on my Instagram or on my TikTok. You guys can find the handles down below. But I'm going to be posting what is this new moon coming in. But let me just touch a little bit on what Venus and Leo is going to bring us. This is, when I say Venus and Leo, I'm talking about big, expansive main character. You're going to feel a lot of, again, like being more passionate, more bold, very creative. Think, the blonde in your hair. I feel like this is kind of the perfect, what is it called, sign for the summer, especially also since Jupiter will be moving into Leo at the end. So all the baddies are going to be out. The baddies are going to be turning blonde. They're going to have the golden skin and everything. But this is also a transit that is asking us, what are we shrinking about ourselves? Are you shrinking yourself to be accepted? Do you want to fit in? Why are you trying to be someone that you're not? Allow yourself to be authentic in your own way, allowing yourself to be bold, again, creative, playful. I feel like this is going to bring also a lot of romantic vibes. This is, again, the perfect time to kind of get in touch with your inner child, because Leo does rule over our inner child, our childlike energy, our expressiveness. This is also going to be a summer of our content creation, our creativity, dating, confidence when it comes to work, when it comes to you and your beautiness. What else? You do not need any exterior validation. Like, this is also a transit that's going to be asking you, like, where can we find, like, how can you find ways to validate what you feel, who you are, and really being able to be like, okay, like, I know exactly who I am. I know my own identity. I know this is what I'm here for. This is what, nobody can do it like you, baby. But I do want to remind you guys that we are in that retrograde shadow period, or pre-shadow period, pre-Mercury retrograde. Anyway, point is, Mercury is going retrograde at the end of the month on June 29th. So all of the ideas that are coming up for you, all the little insecurities, all the little nudges that are coming up for you when it comes to that, again, self-confidence, sit with that. Think about it. Find your tools. Write things down. Have a dream journal. Have the system, the tool system in place, so that when Mercury starts to go retrograde, you're not just like reflecting and redoing and revising things. You're also, as you're pulling that out, you're implementing these new activities, these new what is it called? I just literally lost what I was saying. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, implementing new ways of being able to see the world through fresh lenses when it comes to your beauty, the aesthetics, your value, how you're pouring into yourself, and how you're showing up for you, and how you're expressing that in your own authentic way too. And then at the end of the week, we will have the new moon in Gemini, which will be happening on June 14th. To be exact, if you're in Phoenix, this is going to be happening at 8 o'clock. So, new moon in Gemini. Anytime there's a new moon, it means that it's the beginning of a new lunar cycle. This is going to bring in that, again, the opportunity to set new seeds, to learn something new, start up a conversation, get in touch with your community, with like-minded individuals. Remembering that that's what Gemini rules. It rules over communication. It rules over doubles of things. So you may be coming up, you may be meeting people in pairs. You may be, again, learning new things. You will feel these sparks of curiosity to different things, maybe taking short distance trips. You may feel a little bit more scattered, more all over the place. You may also find yourself not being able to learn, but this is also a great new moon to kind of get in touch with with your inner voice. So like stop consuming so much information that you disconnect from your inner voice, that you disconnect from yourself, right? Sometimes we're like, I want to learn, I want to soak in all this new knowledge, and you forget to integrate it. You forget to see like, okay, like how does this apply to my life? Like where is this, where can I implement this? Or like, does it even resonate with me on a spiritual level, on an emotional, physical level? And that's kind of some of the things. So overall, just remember to ground yourself. I feel like a broken record, but like being able to find different ways to grounding your own energy, and remembering that it does not have to be all spiritual and woo woo, even though it is fun. Sometimes grounding yourself is literally coming up with a meal plan, making sure that you eat, drinking water, finding 5 things that are the same color. Sometimes grounding yourself is not as hard as it sounds, you know. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm not gonna play any music, I'm just going to be, and if your mind wanders, that's okay. Just coming back to the breath, coming back to you. Yeah. But that is our astrology rundown. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video also on how the new moon is going to be impacting each sign, or if you guys want to do the Venus and Leo and how it's going to be impacting each sign. Let me know what you guys, I want to know where does Leo fall in your chart? Where does the Gemini, what's your Gemini house, you know? But yeah, let me drink a little bit more coffee, because that was some, it's a lot. All right, we're going to be moving into our tarot. Let me just light up some sage. I think I did say this last time. I went to California to do a sound bath. Shout out to my girl, Angenique. And they gave us some sage, and it just smells so good. Let's just take a moment also to thank our angels, our ancestors, our spirit guides. Taking a moment to also thank your ancestors, spirit guides, thanking yourself for showing up for you, setting an intention. Please take what resonates and leave what does not. You can always come back to this video throughout the week, so don't forget to give it a thumbs up too. Okay, take a deep breath and exhale. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And keeping your eyes closed, let's just do one more inhale, really filling up the belly, through the rib cage, heart space, throat, all the way to the top of the head. Just hold the breath here. And then slowly exhale. Just kind of letting go of the worries. And slowly opening up your eyes. Welcome back, bestie. Alright, so let's see what we need to know for this week, what we need to pay attention to, what's blocking us, and then what is the overall advice. We're also going to be pulling some self-care cards. Ooh, okay. Self-care cards and overall energy. Okay, so the cards are ready to talk. So okay, 2 more cards please. be very, very mindful this week of burnout, okay? Make time for rest. I feel like that is going to be one of our biggest things. Make time to get some rest, some time to connect with yourself, to disconnect yourself from the world. That's going to be very important this week. I think this week is also going to bring up a little bit of our insecurities. But remember, when things like that happen, it's coming up so that we're able to acknowledge it, shift our perspective, work on those things. And again, how we're going to be having Mercury retrograde. Hold on, give me 1 second. I think Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in Cancer. Yep. It's happening in Cancer. Yeah. So what comes up for us on Tuesday, when I was talking a little bit about our values, how we show up for ourselves, it's going to be playing out throughout Mercury retrograde too. So I really think that I would strongly encourage to write things down. What fills up your cup? How can you express yourself? How are you in a group of people? You know, how do you still hold on to that identity? Ooh, all right. 9. I feel like 9 is going to be an important number for us. Yeah, so I feel like this week is going to be testing us again when it comes to our confidence, insecurities, burnout. And also, do not forget that you cannot give to others from an empty cup. You have to make sure that you are making and setting time for yourself this week, because if you don't let yourself, the universe will do it for you. And also, I do think that we're going to be hearing from either an ex. We're going to hear from an ex. We're going to see an old flame. Somebody's going to try to come and sweet talk to you. Pay attention. All right. And then let me just pull some self-care cards. Then we'll be all set. But yes, I feel number 9 is going to be very important for us. Tuesday, keep an eye out what comes up for you on Tuesday. What is coming up for you in your dreams? What are some things that we're closing off? Some of these cycles that are ending. I really, you know, like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that saying where it's like the cycles, you keep repeating a cycle until you're forced to acknowledge it, or like you're forced to shift it. I feel like that's kind of like the theme for this week too, where you're recognizing the cycles that you are constantly in different, like, it's like the same theme, just in different aspects of life. Paying attention to those cycles that are coming up for you. We have the Moon card, the Fool in the reverse. We have the 10 of Wands. We have the King of Wands in the reverse, as well as the 9 of Wands coming up for us in our tarot cards. We have the Power card, Solitude, and Victory and Success. I literally was just saying that, like the number 9. And then for overall energy for this week, we have the Angel of Strength, the World, and the Door to Romance. I really do think that you're, again, being called to pull the courage, like, from those depths of, like, I can't believe that this happened to me, or, like, this always happens to me. And, like, really, again, grabbing your confidence and being like, okay, we've been through this cycle multiple times. Like, I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to start a new chapter. I really do think with this Moon card and the Fool card, coming up, and then with the power right under it, it's like giving you that opportunity of like what's in the dark will always come to light. So again, what are your blind spots? What are the things that you're not paying attention to? Like they're going to come up, and they're coming up so that you're able to be like, okay, do I continue to ignore this? Do I continue to just be in this state? Or can I transmute this in order to really fully gain that confidence and move forward with my life? And this is, again, this may apply to you, whether it's relationships or this is probably like an internal struggle that you may be going through. I do want to point out though, like our spirit guide is literally going to be a lion. So please take a look at what the energy of a lion is. I'll probably clip it down in the comments below, or if you guys can do that, please, that would be amazing. Thank you. But it's again pulling out that courage, and also if this feels with these cards, I feel like these are also burdens, or not burdens, but like insecurities that have came up through childhood. So I feel like these some of us may be doing some inner child healing this week, or we're being called to do some inner child creativity or activities, workshops, whatever that looks like. But really calling in that inner child and reminding it that like, hey, like I'm here for you. Like, what can you help me be a little bit more playful? How can you pull that childlike energy? But also as you're using and reminding yourself that like it's okay to be soft, it's okay to have joy, it's okay to be playfulness, but also reminding that child to be like, hey, you know, like you're here, I'm here for you just as much as you're here for me as well, if that makes sense. But yeah, I also do think that, like how I was saying, I feel that this is also like childhood healing that is coming up for us, but also calling in our inner child to help us find a little bit more joy in our day-to-day life. What's blocking us is burnout. We have the 10 of Wands, solitude, and then the World card. So we may also be needing to disconnect ourselves a little bit from the world. Remember how earlier I was saying that like what did I say? I said stop consuming so much knowledge and allow yourself to digest, to integrate and apply and change your perspective on different things. I feel like that's again coming up for us in the cards as well as the World card, just kind of calling in your energy, disconnecting your energy from people, places that you are no longer in association with, that you no longer relate to. And it's okay. Sometimes people are here, places are here for us for a season of our lives, and sometimes they can't come with us to the next level. Sometimes they're like, hey, like thank you for being a part of my journey, like now I'm able to move on completely. Sometimes your frequency changes, their frequency changes, and that's okay. You also just again have to come back to self, have to come back to, okay, now that I been in this place, been in this situation, met these people, now that I've grown from this, what can I do next? How can I call my own energy back and see where we're kind of moving forward in? Also with this 10 of Wands, I feel like some of us may feel that energy was just happening, life was just happening and happening and happening to us, that we feel like we can't even catch a break. But baby, please remember that like it will come. This too shall pass. Allow yourself to just sit with the energy, feel it, and then let it go with love. Okay. All right. And then the advice for us, we have this King of Wands in the reverse, as well as the Knight of Swords in the reverse. I feel like towards the end of this week, as we continue to call in our insecurities, how we're comparing ourselves to other people, or being like, I should be in that situation, or I should be here, I should be there, I shouldn't be in this place anymore. I think that during this week, again, the advice that's being given to us, it's like work through that and be like, okay, like if that's where you want to be, like what is the plan that you can make to get there? What can you do? How can we ask other people for help? How can we sit in our own thoughts and be like, okay, like let's create a plan, like let's get down to the root of things and move forward through it. Also with this King of Wands, it's like if you've been doing something that started off as a passion, as a hobby, something that really sparked to your mind, that brought sparks into your life, we may be feeling a little burnt out on that, or maybe you're just like, I was just doing it because it really made me happy, and now you're super burned out. You're just kind of being called to like, okay, let's take a break, let's redirect our energy, let's see what we can do in order to move forward. And also a reminder that it is okay to rest. It's okay to sit down, to sleep in, to be like, okay, I'm gonna take a mental health day, and then the next day move forward. The next day be like, okay, like let's see what we can come up with, or just kind of pick up where you left off, because we do have the victory to success as well as the door to romance. And what I feel when it comes to this, it's like you're finding different ways, or like finding different ways to really fill up again your cup, to realign with different values, or being reminded of like, this is exactly why I fell in love with this person, or this thing, this place, this activity. It's again being able to be like, okay, like let me let it go, rest, reflect, and then come back to it whenever I've cleared my mind. This week may be a little emotional. It is gonna be emotional. I'm not gonna say it's that. The way, like, you may feel super high and above, and then you'll have that like drop of, again, I feel a little disconnected, but reminding yourself that you're feeling that disconnect so that you're able to see like, okay, let me get down to the root of this, let me reapply things, let me make a couple of adjustments here and there, and then shake off what is no longer resonating with you and continue to move forward. And then for our self-care cards, we have make an altar, burning ritual, and connecting with your wounds. So the moment I flip these over, I'm like, okay, bro, like we gotta connect with our ancestors, especially like the women in your lineage, or your ancestors, reminding them to honor. Some of us girlies may be starting our cycle, maybe it's switching up. If you're realigning with the new moon, is being, again, sometimes we don't even have to do anything. We can just sink into our cycle and see like, okay, like let's set this intention. We're bleeding with the moon. Everything is shifting again. But paying attention and connecting to your womb also reminds us of our divine feminine energy. Again, our lineage, honoring our ancestors, our spirit guides, the lineage, again, that we come from. Also, I really do feel like some of us may be needing to pay attention to. So maybe checking in with your doctor, making sure that all of our goodies are good. Some of us maybe even finding out that we're pregnant. I mean, not me, but maybe you, sis. So, and then we have making an altar and a burning ritual. So like I said, connecting to our angels, our ancestors, our spirit guides, honoring them, making an altar for yourself. And sometimes we forget, yes, an altar, you can do it whatever you feel drawn to, whatever you feel called to, honor that. Having maybe you have a altar for your ancestors, but now you're kind of being drawn and called to make an altar for you, a beauty altar. So like you don't have to be a girl to do this, but maybe have a vanity, maybe putting some pink candles, bringing that love, some roses, some rose quartz, tiger's eye, to really bring in that confidence that we were talking about earlier at the beginning of our reading, what we need to kind of pay attention to. So creating an altar to help boost your confidence, to help boost you for things that align with you. And then lastly, we have the burning bowl ritual. So again, like we were talking about at the beginning of the reading, this is going to be one of the most important things of this week, is releasing what is no longer in alignment with your values, what is no longer contributing to you, what is burning you out, what can no longer come with you onto this next chapter of life. And how I was saying that we're getting ready to move into Mercury retrograde. So this feeling is going to resurface again around the 29th, between the 29th and the... sorry. What? It's all the way to July. I don't know where I wrote it down, but I'll put it on the comments or something. But again, this Mercury retrograde is going to be impacting us in our self-confidence. We're going to start to feel it now. And then little by little, we're going to, again, continue to shift it towards the new moon. Again, allow things that are coming up, allow them to surface, work through them, make mental note of them. And yeah, I thank you guys. This is going to be our reading for today. Keep an eye out for the number 9 as well. Make sure that you guys are staying extra hydrated this week as well. And of course, all summer long, if you want to book a reading with me, you guys can visit my website at www.zengenb.com, where you can book a tarot reading, Reiki, astrology, or you guys can join in the collective distance Reiki, which we're going to be doing on Monday. And we're going to be focusing again on the energy of Gemini. We're going to be cleansing our aura. You're going to get a Reiki report, a guided meditation, and a group tarot reading. So if you guys are interested, again, visit my website. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment what resonated with you, what didn't resonate with you, what you guys want to see next. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your week. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.